CVA's Accura Series. Bagara barrels for guaranteed accuracy. Nitride for guaranteed rust proofing. And a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
This segment's being sponsored by Tri-Green Equipment. Stop in and see them at 21 locations in Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee. They can take care of all your Honda, Steel, and John Deere needs. All right, everybody, this next segment's been sponsored by Courtney's Restaurant and Catering. You guys can find them at 4066B North Mount Juliet Road in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, or give them a call at 615-754-7548 for all of your catering or delivery needs. All right, now if y'all got another question or comment, go ahead and feel free to call in. We're going to go ahead and leave those phones open during our segment 4 tonight. I did want to hit on one other thing we've talked about, using these setups that Dayton's got here behind us and how we use it, but I wanted to talk about one other reason that it was important, very important to me that day in that video clip that y'all saw earlier. I first started out, I wasn't using this setup, and every time I would put a jig out there and I'd either get hung in those trees or I'd hook a fish and it'd hang me in those trees. So I switched over to this setup here and it was able to keep that bait the whole time right above that. And you still have to be quick. I mean, notice I was, for crappie, I was kind of setting the hook, but the reason for that was I was trying to immediately pull him up out of the top of that tree.
And see, the floater you had was just your old standard styrofoam.
Yep,
they make different ones.
Yeah.
And this here's a rattling float.
Yep.
These floats have rattles in them.
So that gives you just a little.
So that way it
more.
just gives you a little more, you know, twitch a little bit, whatever, and that gives you a little sound, a little something different.
It's almost like our version of a popping cork like Bob and them used down in Louisiana. I mean, it is the same concept.
Well, for an example, when you're floater fishing, the other day we had that hard wind come in. Man, you throw out there, you really don't have to do nothing, because if the wind waves are that high, this little bait's going up and down by itself without you doing anything at all.
You catch one of them, we call that a white fish.
That's right. All of a sudden the floater just, it's gone, you know?
Yeah. Got a caller here, guys. Danny, how are you doing tonight?
Fine, how are you?
Doing great. We appreciate you calling. How can we help you tonight?
Have y'all heard anything about the kids' lifetime hunting fishing license going up?
Yes, it is. I think it's July the 1st. It's going to $320.
$320?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'll be your 3-year-old down.
No, I buy my grandkids their license, and I still got 2 that's coming on. I got to get them.
Yeah, right now it's time to get them.
Yeah, it's time to jump on it right now.
Yeah, they're $200 right now.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night. Yeah, that's one of the big changes coming down the pipe for this year is the increase in that. And that's okay. If you think about it, it's still $320 for a lifetime sportsman's license, guys. I mean, $320.
And that no matter where you move to.
That's right.
You can always come back here.
You move to Montana for 10 years and come back, and guess what? You've still got a lifetime.
You just come back for a
license.
weekend.
That's right.
You know, you're still good to go.
As far as the value in that, I would venture to say there's probably not a much better value than that across this country for lifetime.
I bought mine for first available, best $1,200 I ever spent.
Never worry about it again.
No, that's right.
Never worry about it again.
Nope.
Well, guys, we've been hitting on kind of what the setup that we've been using. Let's talk just a minute about colors. Now, the video from earlier, I could have thrown 100 colors that day, I believe, and I didn't catch anything if it wasn't a Monkey Milk Bobby Garland jig. Now, revert to last week, we went out. Now, we didn't hardly catch anything if it wasn't on a deep purple and chartreuse jig. So my point being, what do you think? Do you guys think it's the water clarity is a determining factor in that, or do you think it's a sunlight factor? I mean, what do you attribute that to?
In my opinion, 2 weeks ago when we went, we caught everything on kind of a black pearl, they call it. And it kind of had a little blue in it. And then when we went the other day and caught all them big slabs, it was on, it's Strike King's Shadpole Curly Tail, but it's called Monkey Shine. And it's kind of like
similar?
It's similar. It's what it is, the body of it is kind of the Monkey Shine color, or Monkey Milk, some of them call it. But the ones I use have a chartreuse tail, curly tail on it. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, if you wasn't using that, you just wouldn't hardly catch it.
Isn't it amazing how it can work that way
sometimes? And the water
sometimes?
was clearer the other day than it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, that Monkey Shine color in West Tennessee, if the water's pretty clear or dark, If you're not using that, you're missing out, period. I don't care what it is.
Well, you got a grip
Well,
on over there.
Here's what I got going on. I take a little fanny pack, and I've got my straight floats. I take an old medicine bottle or something, and I've got all my lead heads in it, so I ain't got to worry about them getting wet and rusting if it's raining. And I got different sizes, and then I've got multiple colors, from the chartreuse red to the avocado to blue shad
'Cause it
to
can change
monkey's
in a
milk.
day.
It sure can.
Well, here's what happens. Fish get conditioned to one color.
That's-
So you could sit there and throw and not get another bite and swap your monkey milk out for a chartreuse and red and catch
Start back
3
again.
more.
Yeah,
That's right.
right.
But they do get smart. And as you know, we've seen on that live scope, just because you're not catching them doesn't mean they're not there.
Absolutely not.
They are laying right there where you're casting, but
if
they
that
are
live
just...
scope hadn't taught us anything else, I promise you, is that most likely, if you're fishing on one of these local lakes, there are fish there.
They're just not
You
feeding.
might be hitting them right in the head, man. I mean, and they just might not be biting, but that is one thing that we have learned for sure that I would have not ever thought before. I've spent many days out there going, man, they just ain't here. We got to move. They ain't here.
They're
And,
there.
I mean,
They're
they're
there.
there.
They're just not
You know, they're
bite.
just,
That's
they
just
ain't in
it.
eating mode right then. You know, but then 2 hours later, you drop back in that same hole, drop that jig down there and catch 10 in 20 minutes.
And that's
I mean,
why I usually have 2 floater poles with me. I'll take and have the minna colored one, like a monkey's milk or something, then I'll put my chartreuse and red on another one.
Yeah.
Just like I do sauger fishing, I take 2 sauger poles. I'll use a glimmer blue on one and a chartreuse on the other. You'll stand there and fish and catch 3 or 4 in a row and be like, man, I caught them, they ain't biting no more. Reach over and grab that chartreuse one in the same place and catch 4 or 5 more. They're conditioned to the color.
Keep trying.
It's home, it's black and chartreuse.
Right.
You know,
Guys,
that's what it is. West Tennessee.
Avocados here. Does it? Have you seen the avocado?
Yeah,
what they
that's-
call? That's
yes,
what they use a
yeah.
lot here. And crappie niblets, crappie bites. I mean, I don't use them personally, but I know people that
I
just
do too, and I don't use them either, but I know some
rely
that
on
do.
it.
It can help you. We had them on here last week. Well, guys, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back here in just a minute with this week's calendar of events and some more Southern Woods and Waters.